Now, as you guys take a look around Harvard Yard and see all these very big, beautiful, presumably very old buildings, I have a quick question for you guys. Which building that you can see you think is the most expensive per square foot? That one, University Hall. Good guess, but no.
Widener Library? Widener?
Close. Good guess, but no.
Memorial Hall?
Believe it or not, it's actually that little gray guardhouse right back there.
No.
See, back in the 1980s, Harvard went to build the guardhouse, and they were informed that Johnston Gate was declared Cambridge historical property, and thus all the buildings surrounding Johnston Gate must match the exact same architectural style. So they drew up a few blueprints and sent them over to the Cambridge Historical Commission, and those were rejected. They made a few adjustments and sent some more blueprints over, and those too were rejected. It took over 80 sets of blueprints for that design right there to be approved, and that's why it cost right around $57,000 to build. That's about 1 year's worth of tuition here. Next, we'll be talking about Massachusetts Hall right here. What's up? Per square foot.
7,000 per square foot.
I think the total thing was 57,000,
Okay.
so that's probably
Within the
handful.
footage.
Yes. So right here, we got Massachusetts Hall, which is the oldest building here on campus. It was built back in 1720, and it was home to 3 very influential Harvardians. First being John Adams, second president of the United States. Second, John Hancock, largest signer of the Declaration. And the third being Sam Adams, cousin of John Adams, and also father of liberty. Now, students to this day still live in the top 2 floors of this building, although the bottom 2 floors are occupied by our own president, President Drew Faust. Her offices are in there, so obviously not the biggest party dorm on campus if you're up on the top 2 floors. Back in 1636, the Massachusetts Bay Colony came here and founded what was known as New College. Now, it was 15 years after the Pilgrims landed here on Plymouth Rock, so obviously that's a very long time ago, and Harvard started off with very humble beginnings. It began without a single teacher, student, classroom, or even book. Essentially just a piece of paper and an idea. Now, 2 years later, in 1638, a man by the name of John Harvard died and donated his rare library book collection, a small sum of money, and the land that we're standing on here today over to the college, and thus the college was renamed after Mr. Harvard. Now, because our university is so old, we often like to correlate American history here with Harvard history. So in the late 1700s, with the signing of the United States Constitution, it's obviously a major step forward in this country's history. Now, 7 years prior to that, there's a major step forward here in Harvard's history with the creation of its first graduate school, that being the medical school. And throughout the 1800s here in America, it was an era of great expansion. And that era was mirrored here at Harvard with our own era of great expansion with the addition of 4 new graduate schools. That being the Divinity, Law, Dental, and Business School to cap off the century. So by the end of the 1800s, Harvard was really becoming the university we all know and love it as today. But it was missing one very important thing: women. There's no women here at school. So to remedy this fact, something called the Harvard Annex was formed. That would later be renamed Radcliffe College. Now, Radcliffe College is located a few streets west of here over on Garden Street. And how it worked was the professors would come here to the yard during the mornings to teach the men, then walk over to Garden Street to Radcliffe College to teach the women in the afternoons. Now, obviously, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it was the exact same curriculum, so it's a very inefficient system, but it remained this way all the way up until World War II.
Joe, where are you from? What high school? What state?
Conestoga, Philadelphia.
Joe is from Philadelphia. Why did you make Harvard your first choice for college?
It's a great spot. Love the people here.
And And what is it about Harvard? If you had to encourage the kids, grades 8 to 12, who are here, my fellow prep kids, today, and they're visiting from New York City, what is the advice that you can give them in terms of the college application process and getting into Harvard University?
Give us the tips.
What's the best tips that you can give us in terms of being a great applicant to college? That's the question we want to ask.
Stay focused. I know you guys are young and it doesn't seem like it's always the best thing or the coolest thing to do, but always work hard in school because education will stay with you for a while.
And why did you choose Harvard University? I would imagine you got into many schools.
Why wouldn't you? No, I mean, I was looking at a lot of other Ivies, and when I came here and met the people, they're all a lot more normal than I thought. They're all very similar to me, just hardworking, good people. They seem to be very similar to me, so I loved it.
Thank you so much. We are going back to New York. Say goodbye, guys. We're back